Well,
Hi.
We're just figuring shit out on the spot, guys. We are back.
We are.
For part 2. Thank you for joining us on Thursday. I know this crazy week so far, right, guys?
So crazy. We are like seeing into the future, so
Yeah.
like don't mind us.
We're also psychics.
Talking of the future, what's coming up in June?
I was like, where are we going
What's
with
coming
this?
up in June?
June. Guys, we're hosting an event.
We
Event
are.
in person. It's going to be at Saint City Bar and Grill in Branson, Missouri. We're doing a true crime trivia night. Don't be intimidated by true crime trivia. We're going to make it super fun.
All things sinister.
All things sinister. We'll probably throw in like our astrology stuff, podcast stuff, just basics, fun facts, but there's going to be giveaways and prizes.
Yep.
We're going to have our merch there. Saint City is also just a really fun place in general. If you're in the Branson, Springfield, Arkansas area, they have like wing specials and drink specials. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So it is June 22nd at 8 p.m.
Yep. And then August.
Yeah, and then August, we are going to be going to Podcast Movement Convention. It is a huge convention for podcasters. So it will give us great tools to grow the podcast, great exposure, hopefully, and just a lot of like learning opportunities and networking opportunities. So we are looking for sponsors and donations to help send us to the podcast movement. Even like a $5 donation or $1 will help. Our PayPal is linked in the link in our bio on Instagram and will also be linked on the website as well as the YouTube episode. So keep that in mind. Even if like you don't want to donate, but if you know of any other sponsors that would like to sponsor the podcast.
If you have a daddy, listen, basically all sugar babies. Call up your daddies and be like, I know 2 girls who they need your help, daddy. And so can I have an extra $500 this week to send to my favorite Sinister sisters? And then boom, it's done.
And then it's done. So
sell a couple extra feet pics and then send it to us. You won't regret it.
You won't regret it.
So that's the news.
That is the news. So you ready to dive in?
Disclaimer, do you want to redo it?
Yeah, for sure. Let's redo it.
Our videos and podcasts are for entertainment purposes only. Keep in mind.
No.
Fuck. Okay, start. Wait. Entertainment purposes only. All information was found on the internet. Keep in mind, we will talk all things sinister, which may not be appropriate for all audiences. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
Boom.
Okay, good enough. Whatever. Guys, I can't even hardly remember our sponsor info, okay? Don't trust me with the full-on paragraph disclaimer.
Yeah, she can't remember shit. So she has what I call CRS syndrome. That's can't remember shit. So
I was like, oh,
she was like, what?
Another mental illness to add to the list.
Shut up.
Also, we are still sipping on our Pinot
Prophecy
Grigio.
Oops.
I figured out the trick. This is what all the influencers do.
Is that what they do? Okay, there it is. There
Not
it
really
is.
working.
Yeah,
like
you can see it.
There. Yeah, perfect. Boom. It's delicious and crispy. Alexa didn't like it, so she added orange juice to hers.
Cheers. It's like a mimosa.
Sure.
It's like a mimosa.
It's a mimosa.
We are talking about Kenneth Bianchi. So
Would have been a bada boopy.
Give
Bianchi.
me the spaghetti and meatballs.
I said I wanted to be a pimp, mama. I wanted to be a pimp.
I want to be a pimp, mama. I don't want to kill prostitutes.
Listen.
What?
It is 2 hours past my bedtime. Drinking were to strangle.
Drinking were to strangle. So you know what?
21 and older.
Because we have drank a lot.
If you're too young, grab a bottle of NyQuil or something. Like,
don't do the NyQuil. You still have to be 18 to buy that.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Shit. Okay, don't.
Drink your Gatorade, okay?
Just milky, milky baba. Here we go. Milky, milky baba. Okay, we're done.
like
We're done. All of our Italians have left the chat and blocked us. In fact, there's an angry mob outside the house right now.
Right. Okay. Oh my gosh. But some like legit Italian food sounds good right now.
Like some fettuccine alfredo with broccoli and mushrooms only.
And the chicken.
No chicken.
No, we need the chicken.
No chicken.
Yeah, no, I want like spaghetti bolognese.
I don't like red sauce.
You are a fucking weirdo.
I am.
All right,
yes.
We're over this conversation. So I love Italian food. She clearly does not. So let's go. November 13th.
Okay.
We are in the year of 1977. We are now on victims 5 and 6. So previously in part 1, we talked about his childhood. I talked about the zodiac connection between Gemini and Libra, and it's actually very, very, very
fascinating.
Spot
on.
Yes, with these two, because Kenneth is the Gemini and Angelo is the Libra. And so we have now seen how Angelo is the mastermind and Kenneth kind of just follows along and does what he's told. He goes with the flow. He's friendly, outgoing. He's like, you know what? Whatever. I'll do whatever I gotta do. And Angelo is the mastermind.
Yeah.
So
we probably suspect like some grooming. Like there's some grooming because there's a 20-year age gap.
Yeah, there's a 20-year age gap between the two of them. And so absolutely. And if we think about his childhood too, Kenneth lost his dad when he was 13 years old.
Yeah.
So he didn't really have, that father figure after that. So, it's said that he does kind of look up to Angelo as like a father figure too, which is not good. But you can see how he was intrigued by Angelo and he wanted to do what Angelo told him to do and he did it. Like, he didn't think it was wrong. So listen to part 1. We are in part 2, November 13th, 1977. We are talking about victims 5 and 6. 2 young girls, the age of 12 and 14. 12-year-old Dolly, 14-year-old Sonia. They were catching the local bus to take the bus home. Got off at their stop. And that was the last time that they were seen alive. They were approached by a vehicle with Kenneth and Angelo inside, and somehow Kenneth and Angelo got the girls inside. I would imagine it wasn't hard, because if you think about a 12 and a 14-year-old girl, they're very, very vulnerable. So if they have already been saying that they are police officers and they're showing a badge, I mean, they could have literally said anything to scare these girls to get them into the vehicle.
That, and like, when was like stranger danger?
Not in the 70s.
No. I feel like 70s was peace and love. Yes. Granted, it was like the decade of serial killers, but still really peace and love. Still like, I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, the whole cop thing, them impersonating cops, you could convince so many people.
Absolutely. Especially young girls. So they get them, they get the girls in the vehicle. They take the girls back to Angelo's house. And this is where they instantly took one of the girls into one of the bedrooms and blindfolded her and started raping her. They then strangled her. Kenneth, or I couldn't determine if it was Kenneth who kept the other girl outside. And Angelo did this situation to the first girl, but then the other girl was brought into the house. She was brought into the exact same room where her friend had just died, but she was blindfolded. Oh. And the same exact thing happened to her. So she was raped and she was strangled in the exact same room.
Oh my
right
God.
Next to her
and she had no idea.
No idea.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. Their bodies, their bodies were found 7 days later by a 9-year-old boy who was treasure hunting by the Dodgers Stadium. Near there is like a trash dump, so kind of like a landfill, but a little smaller area where they come and pick it up on a weekly basis. 9 years old.
Traumatized.
Yep. The 2 girls were naked. Clearly, so they had dumped their bodies, they were naked, and they had already started decomposing because they were literally in trash.
Ugh. Yeah. So sad.
It's sad.
What a dehumanizing way to, like, leave people.
Yeah, and that just shows...
I mean, obviously the whole thing is tragic and fucked up, but, like...
Yeah.
Just...
Yeah. And that just shows, like, lack of empathy, lack of emotion.
Yeah.
Clearly a fucking, sociopath. So, like...
Totally.
But Kenneth, we've heard that he's been that way since a child.
Yeah.
I mean, he showed zero emotion when his dad died. So, and apparently he had a great relationship with his parents. So...
Nuts.
It's just wild. Victim number 7 was a woman named Christina. She was found the exact same day. So we don't know the actual date that she was murdered. Her body was found the exact same day with the same ligature marks. She was raped and strangled, of course.
I feel like now would be the time to sound the alarms that, hey guys, we might have some serial killers.
Right. Due to the ligature marks and strangulation marks around the woman's neck, showing more than one strangulation attempt, they also had 2 different semens. But again, DNA testing wasn't a thing at the time. The detectives and the authorities finally recognized that they have a crew of 2 stranglers. And this is where they say, and come up with the name, the Hillside Stranglers.
How do they know it's 2 different semens?
Well, I think it was the amount. Yeah, I think it was the amount of semen and the placement of the body and where it had been. They had determined one of 2 things. A couple of things that I read. They had determined one of 2 things. Either the person or people had sex or raped the woman and then raped him again post-mortem. Or there were 2 semens. But because of the ligature marks...
Oh, okay, I get it.
And the difference in the strengths...
They already thought we've got 2 people. And so then it's like, okay, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah. So, again, this is where they come up with the name, the Hillside Stranglers, because they toss the bodies hillside. You know, this
it's really like ditch side, but...
Yeah, like this... ditch
what?
Bitches.
You're getting fucking canceled for that one. How dare you?
Why?
Because you called the victims bitches.
No, I'm calling the stranglers the bitches. They are the
ditch
you're
bitches.
Right. Oh, okay.
I'm getting canceled because I assume you were the victims.
No! Oh my God.
Oh, shit.
No,
wow.
Okay, so that term, ditch bitch, it's a joke between a friend group with her, myself, and Amanda, D-U-H, from Missouri.
Amanda from Missouri.
So
and we don't need to get into it.
Yeah, we don't need to get into it because that's a story for a different day.
But I definitely thought you were calling the victims
No,
bitches.
that is terrible. I would never, ever do that. I mean, I am a very ice cold fucking person, but not that cold.
That's bad.
I have some empathy.
Oh,
no,
God.
I was calling them because
they
are bitches.
Yes.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Yes.
It's like, God damn, we say some fucked up shit, but that was pretty
That
bad.
was pretty
And then I'm sure
bad.
there's people who are listening like, you guys have said way worse.
Yeah,
Like-
probably. They're like, do you not remember the baby conversation? Okay, we'll go.
Okay,
We're
yeah,
not going to go there.
so-
So, yeah, so they come up with the name the Hillside Stranglers. You know, why not give them, like, the Small Dick Stranglers or something like, why do we gotta give them the
Badass
name?
names?
Yeah, like,
Hillside. Like,
yeah,
I feel
like
that's
Hillside.
a name of like a nice bed and breakfast in Ireland. Welcome to the Hillside Inn, ma'am. I can't do an Irish accent, clearly.
No, that was terrible. But,
yeah,
seriously, like, why not give them a terrible name?
like the wannabe pimp stranglers.
Yeah, they couldn't be a pimp and now they're a killer strangler or like something stupid.
The children whose parents didn't want them stranglers.
Yeah, the pieces of shit stranglers. Like, I don't know. Like, why give a cool name? It's always something like Richard Ramirez,
like
the Night Stalker. Like, that just sounds catchy. Like, it sounds like it could be a band.
Sounds like a Batman spinoff.
Could have been.
But, no, I agree.
So,
make serial killer names less cool. Say it with me.
Make serial killer names less cool.
Okay, we gotta think of a better chant. Okay. That's way too long.
Alright, so we're moving on.
Yeah.
Kenneth and Angelo, they clearly didn't stop here. They weren't done. There were 3 more victims that they killed together. Victim number 8, a woman named Lauren. She was 18 years old. A neighbor saw Lauren being abducted from her driveway and described Kenneth and Angelo's description to the police.
So at least we have an eyewitness confirm that there's 2 people.
Yes.
Okay.
She also said that she heard Lauren screaming, "You won't get away with this." But
what a badass.
The neighbor, yeah, seriously, badass. But the neighbor did not call the police when this was happening.
Because?
It was, I don't know. It was later, whenever she told the police, whenever obviously they arrived to talk to her parents, Lauren's parents. Like, when was the last time you talked to her? Let's ask all the neighbors. Is when the neighbor fucking said all this shit. I don't know. The bystander effect, it's a real fucking thing. People, the bystander effect, you know what that means, right? Like, have you ever read about it? You are a bystander. You watch something going on and you think, oh, someone else is watching this or someone else is seeing this. No. They're going to call it in. That is the bystander effect. And it is real. It is real.
I got into this thing. I think it was, quick side note. Back when I was in a not so great relationship years and years and years and years ago, I got into this mode where, like, if I saw something suspicious, I called the cops a lot. Yeah. And at one point, I saw this man taking a little girl from one parking lot to, like, across this way. And he walked in front of traffic with her in front of, like, our car and kind of, like, jerked her neck when he was picking her up. And she was probably, like, 3 or 4 and walked, I mean, probably 200 yards from, like, a Chili's to a Home Depot kind of situation. Yeah. And I was like, that looked weird. I was like, there's just something about that looked weird. Like, one, why do you go eat at Chili's and then need to go to Home Depot? Like, the locations was weird.
Yeah.
And I was like, the way he, like, literally grabbed her. And the person I was with was like, yo, you're freaking out. That was clearly just a dad trying to get out of the way because he was walking in front of cars. Maybe they parked at Home Depot. Maybe and I was like, no. Yeah. I said, I'm calling the police because... Anyways, I just kind of got a little trigger happy with the night. I've called if I see someone struggling on the side of the road. I call.
Like 911. What's your emergency? Oh wait, it's Cadence again.
Yeah,
Cadence.
It's me.
Do you not know this is an emergency phone number?
Well, they did ask me. So they were like, "Okay, why is this suspicious?" And I said, "Well, and if you knew the location, I'm like, first off, this man, not in a car." Walking from Chili's to Home Depot, which again is at least 200 yards. Like, it is a distance. That is suspicious in itself. And the way that he jerked her and, like, walked out in front of traffic.
Like, I don't know if he's kidnapping her.
I said, if I was an outsider looking in, I'd be like, that little girl does not belong to that man. It could be nothing, but I feel like it doesn't hurt for you guys to just come out and ask.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, like, you know where he's at. He's at Home Depot now. Yeah. Like, just go and check it out.
And that's just the direction he was headed. Like, there was nothing else over there except highway. And that also freaked me out. And so I was like, why is this nothing about this picture makes sense. So, again, it's one of those things. It doesn't hurt to call and just help. Trust your gut instinct and just do it. And I've done that, like, probably too many times that I should. But, like, if I see people on the side of the road and they're, like, one time I saw a guy kneeling on his knees, just staring up at the sky on the side of the highway without a shirt.
Crying? He was talking to Sky Daddy.
He's like, Sky Daddy, I just need a goddamn shirt. I called the cops on that, and it wasn't because he was doing anything wrong, but I was like, this guy needs help.
Well, the cops aren't going to help him. They're going to be like, dude, get the fuck up and, like, go away.
Unless he's, like, on drugs.
Yeah, you think they're gonna help him? No, they're taking his ass to jail.
Oh, good. Then
you just snitched on him.
Yeah,
he was fucking higher than life.
I thought he was a crackhead, and I was concerned about the safety of the people on the highway,
and
so I called the
poor
cops.
guy was just enjoying his high and talking to Sky Daddy, and
well,
she ruined it.
He needs to be a ditch bitch and get it off of the road because it was like right off of the highway.
Well, whatever. She's a party pooper. Every party has
ruin it for heroin addicts everywhere. Golly.
Oh, God, I know. It's funny. All right. But seriously, the bystander effect is real. It is real.
Not for me, but I guess everyone else.
She's like, wait, what's that? I'm like looking at her like, the bystander effect. Like, you know what that is. She's like, huh?
You mean people don't call the cops when they see weird things happen? Oh, that's funny.
Balloons. All right.
We are back on track.
But yeah, the neighbor did not call and could have saved her life. It's not the neighbor's fault because she didn't do it. But guys, just if you see something suspicious like that, especially a girl saying you won't get away with this, call 911.
Yeah, like what more? You won't get away with this. I think she was just playing games with her friends.
That was her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Victim number 9 was a woman named Kimberly. She was also 18 years old. Not going to go into detail with what happened because it's the same thing. And then their last victim together, victim 10, named Cindy. She was 20 years old. So you see, again, the same pattern. Young, vulnerable women. Fast forward to the next year, May 1978. Kenneth moves to Bellingham, Washington to be with Kelly, the girl that he was with, and their son. He also had other family members up there. He also moves to Washington because he started going on LAPD police ride-alongs to help find the Hillside Stranglers. And Angelo freaked the fuck out.
Okay, wait, time out. You can do that? You can go on ride. You can be like
on police ride-alongs
when they're looking.
No,
for
I don't think that anymore. Like, I think police ride-alongs now is like just pulling people over. Like,
but you can do that.
Yeah, you can.
I want to do that.
Hey, we should do that and like record.
That would be a blast. I loved.
We have that.
What's that? Live PD.
We have that connection, that police officer connection.
Fuck yeah, I want to do that.
All right, and they're probably going to
listen. I know where all the crackheads are, so I'll point them out.
She's a fucking narc.
I am.
Listen, I know that snitches get stitches,
and I know that bitches
snitches
are in the ditches, and I will show you what ditch they're in.
Oh my god, I love it. I love it.
Anyways, okay, so he was he thought this was a good idea.
This is a great idea, and they won't look at me.
I'll throw them off my scent by literally putting my scent next to them.
Yeah, he's like, they're not gonna look at me. I'm gonna show them everywhere else to look.
They're like, I think he's this way. He's like, actually, I thought I saw a guy go that way. Weird.
So Angelo freaks the fuck out. He's like, yo, if you don't fucking move to Washington, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Like, he for real like threatened him and said, I will kill you. You gotta move to Washington or I will fucking kill you because you're gonna get us caught. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? That was like a New York accent.
Yeah, you're gonna get us caught.
Yeah. So,
okay.
moves to Washington, Bellingham, Washington, becomes a security guard at a security officer at a hardware store. And he applies at Whatcom Sheriff's Office and gets a job as a patrol captain surveying other security guards. So at Whatcom Sheriff's Office,
what is that?
Whatcom is the county. Whatcom County.
No, the job title.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Okay, I'll just shut up.
So Whatcom County Sheriff's Office basically houses security guards as well. So they have police officers in all different levels, of actual law enforcement. And then they also house and manage security guards. So like your mall cops and stuff like that.
So it's like a cop fraternity.
Pretty much. So he was the patrol captain. So he was the manager of the security guards.
Great. He oversees all the people who actually protect people.
Right.
Good.
Right.
Sounds
Yep.
Sounds like a great job.
Right. So while he's doing this, he enrolls into police courses as well.
Of course.
So
getting all buddy with people.
Yeah. But he gets bored. So fast forward to January 11th, the following year. We are in 1979. He ran into two young college students, Diane and Karen, and he said, "Hey, I'll give you $100 if you watch over this house for a couple of hours. The surveillance is down. We've got to get it fixed, but I need you to watch this house. I'll give you $100 to do it. I can't do it because I've got to be at a different job. So will you do it?" And they're like, "Sure, yeah." The girls showed up to the house. He then shows up to the house, and he forces them in the house, down the stairs, and strangles both girls.
Great. Oh, shit.
So,
ready for this guy to get caught.
Yeah. He left all evidence behind at the scene. So this clearly tells you that Angelo was the mastermind of all of their murders that they committed together. There was zero trace. He didn't want anything to come back to him. And whenever we talk about the trial, I truly think that if Kenneth wouldn't have sang like a canary, that they would have never probably gotten caught. Or if he wouldn't have done these murders, yeah. And we'll talk a little bit about that. The next day, obviously the women are dead. The next day, he was arrested for strangling the girls at this house because of not only the evidence that he left at the home, but also there was a detective on the Hillside Task Force that got, that listened into something or got word of another murder that took place in Washington. And the MO was very, very similar to the Hillside Stranglers. So the women were either lured or kidnapped or whatever, and they were strangled with, many types of ligatures.
Yeah, I can't believe no one has, pieced this together.
Yeah. So they went to Kenneth, and because the girls were smart. When they got hired for this job, so obviously they were done, but they went back to the girls' place, two separate places, but when the girls got hired for this job, they wrote down on a sticky note or a piece of paper, okay, this is the date of where we're going to work, this is the time, this is the location, and Bianchi is who hired us.
Why would they write this stuff down? Just organized girls?
Maybe organized girls.
Wow.
Smart. Yeah, it's sad.
I guess if you think about it, when I've had a Zoom interview, I'll put Zoom with so-and-so.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and it's the 70s.
Yeah.
They don't have technology, so they're writing down.
They don't have Zoom?
Shut up. So they're writing down, their appointments or their meetings or whatever, to, remember it.
Yeah.
So, and that's what they did. They wrote down the date, the time, the location of where they needed to be.
So it was
and who hired them. Light bulb
ding,
moment.
ding, ding.
Yep.
We've got our guy.
Police saw that. They saw the guy, Ken Bianchi, and they looked up his license, saw that it was a California license, and this detective just went with his gut feeling. He's like,
his gut feeling? How about he went with the evidence?
Well, there wasn't any evidence yet.
Okay.
Just that doesn't tie him to actually murdering them.
But the first guy you gotta talk to.
Yes, first guy you gotta talk to. So, he's an idiot. Safe to say.
Who, Ken or?
Ken is an idiot.
Okay.
So they go to talk to him, and he just starts singing like a canary. He's like, yeah, I did it.
Wait, just like that?
Just like that.
All this? And he's like...
All of this.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Yep. Yeah. He's like, I did it. And this is where, you know, things kind of get even more wild in the mind of Ken Bianchi. He's in custody at the police station. So let me back up. They go to his workplace and they're like, hey, do you know these girls? He's like, nope. They're like, well, then why was your name on a piece of paper with the date, time, and location of where these girls went missing? And he's like, yeah, I was there. They're like, well, come down to the station. We have some more questioning. So they take him down to the station. They're questioning him. They're asking him a bunch of questions about the murders of the girls in Washington. And he's like, yeah, I did it. At this time, they are finding many of pieces of evidence in his house. Because since they have him in custody, they've served a search warrant over to his house.
Right.
So they're finding not only evidence of the two girls that he murdered in Washington, like their jewelry or other things that he would keep, but also other evidence that connects him to the crimes in Los Angeles, to the Hillside Stranglers.
Whew.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, for example, there was a piece of paper that had said one of the women's names that he had murdered, and it was just a random piece of paper with her name on it.
They're like jackpot,
yes.
jackpot, jackpot.
Yes.
Wow.
Kenneth also was known to keep the women's jewelry, hence why he kept their jewelry from the two girls in Washington.
Wow.
So, many pieces of evidence that link him to the Washington crimes as well as the LA crimes. Where am I at here? On January 29th, so just a couple of weeks later, he is arraigned and charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder for the girls, and he pleads not guilty. March 30th, he changed his plea to not guilty by reason of insanity.
Course.
The detectives and his lawyer noticed some very strange behavior with interview processing. This is when 3 different psychiatrists states that he suffers from dissociative identity disorder, previously known as multiple personality disorder in the 70s. So we clearly know, 70s and 80s is known as multiple personality disorder.
I can't wait to hear this.
As the time went on, he was examined by many psychiatrists, appointed, not only by the prosecution, but the defense, but as well as the judge. The judge was like, nope, I'm going to assign other people as well. There were 4 psychiatrists total. 2 psychiatrists thought he was full of shit, and the other 2 psychiatrists were like, no, he's, legit. He's fucked up. He has...
Fucked up, or, they thought he had DID?
They thought he had DID. Fully thought he had DID. While he was under hypnosis, and I'm using quotations because we'll talk about it later, he created an alter ego named Steve Walker.
Oh, this is original psychiatrist who he stole his identity.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
Full circle. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so it's not real. His DID
really
is not real.
Not real. But they don't know this at this time. So Steve confessed to killing the 2 girls in Washington and gave gruesome details about what he did to the girls. He also called them broads. So he wouldn't call them women or girls. Any of the women that he killed, he would term them as broads. That was the term that he used for them. He said those broads didn't deserve to live. We need to cleanse the earth of broads like them.
So just trying to put on the facade of I'm a different person right now. Okay.
Right. He also talks about the murders that him and Angelo committed in LA between October 1977 and February 1978. So instantly sang like a canary and threw Angelo under the bus and was like,
wow,
this is what we did.
Holy shit.
Yep. Told gruesome details about how they would both have sex with the women. But he said broads, of course. Sometimes it was consensual. Sometimes it was rape. Talked about how they took turns in strangling the women. And all, the fucked up things that they did to the women. It's noted that in some of the documentation that they literally tortured these girls to death. There was one thing that I read, and I'll drink here in a minute, that they would strangle them right before the life was gone and let them live a little, and then strangle them again and keep them fighting for their lives. It's sick. And in one of the interviews, they asked him, the alter ego, of course, because Kenneth wouldn't talk. They asked Steve, how did you know when life was gone? And he said, when their eyes would stop moving.
Ugh, I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. I hate that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sick.
So you can look up and listen to these confession tapes. They are creepy. Like, gives me chills just thinking about it. He also says, while under hypnosis, that he was severely abused by his mom after his dad died. He said that he was often abused so bad that he would pee himself. Funny, because it's very contradictory to what actually happened. He peed himself from the age of 3 years old,
right,
until he was 8 years old.
But that is very abnormal, and it kind of makes me wonder if there was some abuse.
There could have been, but I think
right.
If there was some abuse, it was before Dad died. It wasn't what he said, saying it was after Dad died. I think he's full of shit. I think, we talk about serial killers a lot, and some of it's their childhood.
Yeah.
Other times it's not, and they're just unfortunately bad apples. And I truly think what happened is it's so important. The first 6 months of a baby's life is so important and crucial to how their life will be the rest of their life. How they will grow up, how they will be a child, how they will be an adult. It is so important to the mental, physical, emotional health of that human being. I truly think the first 3 months of his life he was neglected. Mm-hmm. He wasn't nurtured. He wasn't given that motherly love that a child needs.
Yeah.
He was ignored. So if you think about a newborn baby, like, you can't just ignore a newborn baby if they're crying. Because they're crying for a reason.
Yeah.
They start learning the behavior of being spoiled at a certain age, but it's not 0 to 3 months. So between that time frame, I truly think he probably was abandoned. He wasn't nurtured. He wasn't given the opportunity to be able to interact and have any empathy or emotion for others. And so I'm just curious
how deep that aspect plays into, like, bedwetting.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I would love to hear from an expert.
I feel like there's a lot of missing pieces on top of just there's lots missing. Whether it's from him or from like the parents, like there's something missing.
Could have been, or he was just a bad apple.
Also, are you going into DID anymore?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Then I'll save what I have to say.
So, again, this is when he says that he was often abused so bad that he would pee himself, after Dad died. And Dad died when he was 13 years old. Just keep that in mind. That was when Stevie was created. Stevie would protect him and tell him to hide under the bed. Steve Walker, as we know, was the psychiatrist that he stole the credentials from and practiced under. Detectives quickly identified this by doing a quick search of Steve Walker with Kenneth's background, because the office that he worked out of as the psychiatrist was in a building that Steve Walker owned.
What?
Yes.
What a moron.
An idiot. Yeah.
He's like, not only am I going to steal your entire identity,
I'm going to work in your office.
Rent out a space here if that's okay.
Yeah. So
stupid.
Dr. Orn was called in. He's an expert forensic psychiatrist, and he was hired by the prosecution to determine whether or not Kenneth was full of shit or really had DID. And he had worked with many cases where people did have DID. Dr. Orn met with Kenneth and told him the truth about DID, went into all of the detail, and he said, typically, and most of the times, multiples, and that's what he referred to as people who had multiple personality disorder, have more than 2 personalities. And that he was concerned that the prosecution would see right through him. He's like, man, you've got to give me, more evidence. You've got to give me more to believe you. And he fully expected Kenneth to create a third identity. Fully expected it. So the next time that they met, Dr. Orn decided that he was going to put Kenneth under hypnosis. So under hypnosis, Dr. Orn, again, I'm quoting the hypnosis because Kenneth was smart. We already know his IQ level at the age of 11. Who knows what it was by the time he was 20, 25, 30 years old at this time.
Wait, can you increase your IQ?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you learn.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but IQs aren't tested based on just, how much you know about stuff.
No, it's how you,
because you could be an idiot, but, memorize a bunch of stuff.
But I think it stops at a certain age.
Okay.
I want to say it's, 16 or 15, and he was tested at 11.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. Yeah. It's whenever that part of the brain is developed, it's done.
Okay, got it.
We
should get IQ tests sometime.
We clearly know her IQ because it's not
I actually took an IQ test, a legit one.
Whenever you were a kid?
Mm-hmm.
Did you?
Yeah.
What
I was tested for the gifted program at school.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm not fucking kidding.
Really?
Yeah, but I never got my results.
You don't know your score?
Mm-mm.
That is a load of bullshit. That is not fair.
Through a week of intense testing.
Wow.
And then never got my score. Yeah.
Probably because it was so
there's
low.
A whole
no,
there's
it was
a whole
so
ex-boyfriend
low.
story about it.
No, they told her she was on the gifted program because they felt bad.
They're like, we want to make you feel
you were on
smart.
the new gifted program.
You're on the we don't know what's going on here program. Just get out.
Oh no, but that's crazy and not fair that they didn't tell you that.
And I will say, and that's why I question about whether your IQ can change because it's a lot of puzzles or how you interpret
Problem
things
solve,
in front of you. It's not how much do you know about science or math or anything. It's
an SAT or
it's how many numbers can you remember? How many how can you remember sequential things? It's it was insane.
Wow.
It's brain numbing.
Wow.
I will say that.
All right. So Dr. Orn put him under hypnosis, and again I use the air quotes because Kenneth was never under hypnosis. He faked it. He knew.
You have to be willing, right?
Yeah.
To accept hypnosis.
Have you ever been hypnotized?
Fuck no.
You really haven't?
No.
Have you ever gone to a therapist who's tried to hypnotize you? Okay.
I'm scared to do that shit.
This is really embarrassing.
You did?
I'm gonna tell my truth.
You get hypnotized?
No.
Oh.
I went to a therapist that whenever I was a teenager, and he tried to hypnotize me. He asked me if he could, and I said yeah. And I faked it. I did. I faked it. I pretended that I was hypnotized.
What?
I couldn't go there. I tried. I just couldn't do it.
So what did you, were you
no, I was laying on the couch and I remember him saying, okay, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he's like, okay, think of a happy place or a place that you like or whatever. And I'm like, okay. He's like, all right. And there was that little thing. What is that called? It
a pendulum?
Yeah. Yeah. And it was, I remember the noise and he's like, focus on the noise, focus on the noise. And I'm like, okay. He's like, think of the happy place. I'm like, okay. And he's like, all right. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're going to be asleep. He's like, and you're going to be asleep. And he's like, and in 3, 2, 1, we're going to talk about whatever. And I just remember fucking laying there. And I'm like, nothing happened.
You're like,
But he's asking me questions.
So you just answered
them? So I just answered them. And then he's like, okay, in 3, 2, 1, you're going to be awake and you're going to sit up. And I just sat up. And I'm like,
oh my God.
Yeah.
Knowing you, I'm surprised you aren't just like, hey, this is bullshit.
I was like 14 or 15. So I wasn't that bold at that time.
Oh, I'm worried of the opposite of being like so susceptible to hypnotism that I'm like shitting myself and like walking around like quacking like a dog. Like,
or you can't wake up. Or you're like perma-hipped.
Is that a thing? People don't wake up from hypnosis. Oh my God, I definitely don't want to be hypnotized now.
Oh God, no, I'm kidding. But okay, now I told my truth. So
this episode is insane.
So
get back on track, people.
When Dr. Orn did the countdown for him to be hypnotized, like the 3, 2, 1, he said, "Who am I talking to?" And Kenneth stood up, went to shake the psychiatrist's hand, and said, "Hi, I'm Billy. How are you?"
Shut. I have so much to say. This is an embarrassment to the DID community.
It is. Huge red flag. So now a third identity is now, emerged. And he's also pretended, too, in this interview to, like, touch someone that isn't there. And we're going to talk about DID here in a second. But, like, that's not a thing.
No.
Like, you don't see people.
You don't hallucinate.
Hear people.
Yeah.
Like, you hear things. And so we'll talk about that in a second. But, yeah, you don't hallucinate. So Dr. Orm was like, this guy's full of shit. He doesn't have DID. And DID is the most severe out of the 4 dissociative disorders. And so it used to be called multiple personality disorder, but now they call it dissociative disorder, or dissociative. I feel like I just inhaled a hair. Anyway, or something. I inhaled something.
But you cannot do sudden movements like that. They freak me out.
Oh my gosh.
You're like...
Anyway, DID is the most severe. And we're going to talk about that. And it's wild. So, anyway, they would never see somebody with DID hallucinate. So, DID. And I took this quoted because it's perfectly said. And I don't want to fuck it up. So, DID is the condition typically involves the coexistence of 2 or more personality states within the same person. Average number of 10 personalities. While the different personalities states influence the person's behavior, the person is usually not aware of these personality states and experiences them as memory lapses. The other states may have different body language, voice tones, and an outlook on life and memories. The person may switch to another personality state when under stress. And a person who has dissociative identity disorder almost always has dissociative amnesia as well.
Yep.
The causes of DID is believed to be from chronic trauma in childhood.
Yeah, it like has to be
childhood. So, this goes to my point. This guy was just fucked up.
Yeah, no.
There was no trauma in his childhood other than the adoption.
The one thing that blows my mind is to this day, it is very hard to find doctors that specialize or even deal with dissociative identity disorder.
True.
So it is kind of crazy that back in this time, which it would have been they would have either called it multiple personality or even sometimes schizophrenia.
Yeah. Multiple personality is what he was trying to do.
It's crazy that that's what he went to and that these doctors even had the knowledge that they did.
Yes.
Because this is still like a highly debated, highly controversial mental disorder.
Yes.
Or traumatic disorder.
Yeah.
And so I am kind of impressed that he knew enough.
Yeah.
Like us. But that's insulting.
Yeah. So, very insulting. So, again, causes of DID is believed to be from chronic trauma in childhood. Some examples of this trauma is physical or sexual abuse or even neglect to the severe.
Yeah.
Like, not like, oh, your mom's ignoring you because she's on her phone. Like, total
or like
neglect
you were
to the-
adopted. Like
Right.
we're not talking like
no,
that.
like neglect where you don't have food, you don't have love, you don't have shelter, you don't have you don't have these things.
Raped.
Yes.
All these things.
These types of occurrences cause the children to disconnect from reality during this time of significant trauma and significant stress. So experts say that it seems that the severity of the dissociative disorder in adulthood is directly related to the severity of the childhood trauma. So the worse the childhood trauma, the worse or the more personalities that the adult will have.
Yeah.
It's also said that adults can develop DID, but it is very, very rare. Again, it has to be significant trauma. And it says, example, from war or even torture or a significant natural disaster. Like somebody being like an at-death experience, like natural disaster. Like there's a tsunami and you're like literally drowning and your family is drowning and your family dies. Like that was one of the examples that it said. Like you see your family dying in the water and drowning and you are drowning trying to help them and they die. That can cause DID in an adult. And that would be super traumatic. One thing as well, which is so crazy to even think about, and especially with him just like mocking this, is hypnosis and DID. Typically, with people who have DID and they go under hypnosis, normally the protector type of personality will come out most of the time.
Yeah.
So, and again, it stems from childhood. So the protector type personality will come through, or the child will come through. That didn't happen with Kenneth.
No.
What came out was the aggressor.
Right.
Or the rapist or the murderer.
Right.
So as we see, he's a load of bullshit.
Oh my God. DID is so fascinating. I'll just give a quick snippet. I was telling Alexa, I go down YouTube rabbit holes with DID. Disassociated is a channel that I love, and I know it's sometimes like a controversial channel because some people think she's faking. Obviously, you can't really tell from YouTube.
Yeah.
But she's very open. She's super intelligent, and she'll show her switches. She'll have her they're called alters. Mm-hmm. Like the alters come out and like give their own testimony. It's just fascinating. And I went down this whole rabbit hole of watching all these DID videos. And so to hear what this guy has to pull, like I'm no expert, but I can be like, well, bullshit. Just bullshit. And it's bullshit. It's insulting.
Another thing too that it said is you can't control it. You can't control those personalities or those alters from coming out. So you can't be like, oh, okay, Patricia's coming through. Like you can't, I know, you can't pick and choose who comes through. Like you could literally be talking right now and it's an instant switch.
I think you can like fight it from what like she's done. Like sometimes she'll try to fight it if like she's trying to do a YouTube video and she can feel another alter in the background. She'll like try to fight it, but that's where the amnesia comes in.
But that's also very controversial with experts as well.
Well, it happens, but she'll try to like, you can see that amnesia state
100%.
where she's like, hold on, like not right now. I don't want to do this. And like, it eventually just happens.
But again, that part is very controversial as well, because people say that you can't talk to, some experts say you can't talk to your alter egos.
Yeah.
Other experts say, yeah, you can because it's you. You're communicating with yourself.
It's your thoughts.
But it's so wild. It's so crazy. But ultimately, we determined that Kenneth is full shit.
Yeah. No, for sure.
And he didn't have any trauma as a child to create this type of disorder. And nor did he have any of this kind of trauma as an adult. So Dr. Orn knew that he was making all this up. Dr. Orn also told Kenneth, obviously with his lawyer present, like, hey, you're a fake. You're making this up. I know you're making this up. I'm going to tell the judge. I'm going to tell the prosecution. So I recommend that you plead guilty if you want leniency against your sentencing.
Ooh.
And so Kenneth agreed. He's like, all right, I plead guilty. I will plead guilty.
I feel like this guy gives up so easy.
I will plead guilty as long as I don't get the death penalty. They're like, you've got to give up your cousin Angelo. He's like, done. Done. So he's the you. He's the you. She's like, I don't want to be murdered. I don't want to be murdered. I'll do it.
Done.
I'll do it.
He went from Chili's to Home Depot. That's all I'm saying.
That's all she's saying. So, he gave up his cousin.
God.
So, Angelo was arrested, obviously, and charged with 9 counts of murder. 1980, while in prison, Kenneth starts dating a woman named Veronica Compton. She was madly in love with him and later convicted and went to prison. Dated a pen pal, a woman.
Pen pal outside of the prison.
He was in prison, yeah, outside of the prison. Just
and then woman. She goes to prison?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. She goes to prison. She goes to prison. She goes to prison for strangling a woman in a hotel room.
Okay.
Kenneth and Veronica put together this plan that Veronica thinks they have the wrong guy. Kenneth is not guilty, even though he already pled guilty. Kenneth is not guilty. The Hillside Strangler is still out there. So Veronica's going to prove it. So
by strangling someone.
By strangling a woman. The woman lived, however, and they put together this whole plan. Like, they plotted it for months. Veronica and Kenneth did. So she strangles this woman. The woman lives. Veronica ends up getting arrested and got sentenced to 23 years in prison. 23 years in prison for trying to deter the detectives to say, hey, Hillside Strangler is still out there. It's the same M.O. He's still killing women. He's strangling women in hotel rooms. But he's in jail.
But he's in jail, and then she gets caught doing it. It's like,
yes.
First off, we intercept the letters. We know what you guys are saying.
We know what's going on.
We read the letters, Veronica, you dumb bitch.
Mm-hmm. 23 years in prison for that. For him.
Ew.
Yeah.
I mean, I can think of like 3 people in this world that I would kill for.
Me, Rogan, and Daddy Rogan.
Yes. Done. That's it.
See?
That's my list.
See? But seriously, like, so stupid. She didn't even know him, number one. He already pled guilty. He already said that he did it.
Also, how is this... how was this supposed to go? Was she supposed to strangle the girl, run off?
No, she was supposed to strangle and kill the girl. But the girl didn't die. She lived.
No, but okay, so let's say she successfully strangled and killed this girl, and then she was going to leave, and then the police were going to find her and be like, oh, we have the wrong guy, and just completely dismiss
let him go.
His confession?
Just let him go.
If anything, they'd be like, okay, we have a homicide.
Yeah.
A single incident homicide.
Yeah, no,
they didn't think this through.
Yeah, they thought it through. I also read, and I couldn't find if it was factual or not. I don't believe anything that Wikipedia says, but Wikipedia said that...
I believe everything Wikipedia says.
I know you
Wikipedia is my Bible, okay?
She's ridiculous. Wikipedia said that part of this planning process was Kenneth had sent his semen in some sort of, like a condom or something, and put it in a book that he sent to Veronica. And Veronica, listen to this, Veronica was going to spread the semen at the crime scene.
Of him?
Of him. But they didn't have DNA yet. So they wanted it to look like it was somebody else. But the same MO, because his semen was found,
but again,
with all the other victims. I know!
Again, they'd just be like, we have a random homicide.
Yes. They literally had this whole thing planned out thinking that it was actually going to work. And it didn't. Clearly.
Clearly.
She went to prison for 23 years.
No debating it.
So in 1983, 3 years later, Judge Ronald M. George stated during the sentencing of Kenneth and Angelo's sentencing, he stated, quoted, Angelo Buono and Kenneth Bianchi slowly squeezed out of their victims their last breath of air and their promise for a future life. And all for what? The momentary sadistic thrill of enjoying a brief, perverted sexual satisfaction and the venting of their hatred for women? The judge continued, if ever there was a case where the death penalty is appropriate, this is the case.
Whoa.
Now, Kenneth stated, I will give you Angelo. I will plead guilty, but I do not want the death penalty.
Which,
Angelo,
again, why?
Right. But Angelo stated the same thing. I will plead guilty. I will give you the details about Kenneth, but I don't want the death penalty. Neither one of them got the death penalty. They were both sentenced to life. Kenneth with the possibility of parole in, I believe, 2056. I didn't even type out the year because he's going to be dead. And Angelo just sentenced to life. So Kenneth was at the Washington State Penitentiary and Angelo was at a California State Prison. Angelo ended up actually dying in 2002, but Kenneth is still alive today and just turned 71.
I was like, 20? Wait, what?
Just turned 71. I meant to say just turned on the 22nd, 71.
What?
Yeah, 71.
I did not realize he was alive.
51, yeah. So, last piece of the story, and this is a great...
You said 71.
He just turned 71. He was born in 51.
Okay. Too many numbers being said.
Okay, remember that IQ score? Yeah, she's fucking lying. I know numbers had to be part of that test. Anyway.
That's it. I'm calling up my ex-boyfriend because he was there.
I'm calling my Nana. Nana, was I smart?
Do you remember?
Do you think I'm smart?
It's actually weird as I feel like I used to be really smart.
No, you're smart. You're just
fried my brain.
Drunk. Too many strangles.
I drank this entire bottle of vodka.
So the last part of the story, Kenneth Bianchi, he's clearly incarcerated at the Washington State Penitentiary in Washington. On Thursday, September 21st, 1989, he married a woman named Shirley Joyce Book.
You dumb, stupid bitches. What are you doing?
She was 36 years old and out of Monterey, Louisiana. They got married in a 15-minute ceremony in the prison chapel at the prison. The day before the wedding was the first time they'd ever met. But they had corresponded since 1986 with exchanging taped messages, obvious, letters and phone calls. Previously, Shirley had tried to correspond with Ted Bundy.
Stop.
Yep.
That person needs to be watched. Call 911.
I know. All of her letters were rejected to Ted Bundy, either by the officials or the Florida State Prison or by Bundy himself. He just wasn't interested. He's like, this bitch is crazy.
This is just weird. She's into serial killers. I'm out.
Yeah, I already have Carol Ann Boone. She's the love of my life, mother of my daughter. I don't need this bitch.
What the hell is wrong with this lady?
Yeah, wild, right? So when the prison officials denied Bianchi conjugal visits, so Kenneth, conjugal visits, he sued the fucking prison. But the county, it was called Walla Walla County. Isn't that funny? In Washington? Yeah. Walla
Walla
Walla County.
A fun place.
I know. Walla Walla County Superior Court Judge Donald W. Schott declared that they had acted within their authority. So clearly he didn't win his case.
No.
The visits were clearly denied for the conjugal visits for security reasons And because of Kenneth's extreme record of violence towards women. So.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Sorry, bitch. Sorry, Shirley.
Yeah, so still alive and kicking today.
Let's go interview him. Do you think we can get him on the podcast?
Hell yeah, we can.
Wow. That, man... Sad, fascinating, classic story.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Well.
That is the Hillside Stranglers, friends.
The DID part, I think, is fascinating to me. Because, again...
Oh, for sure. And he just, like, made this up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, you know what? But that is, like... his Gemini impulsive trait.
The two-face thing.
The two-face thing. He's like, you know what? I can do this. I can do this.
Stupid.
I can say that I have multiple personality disorders, so I don't have to go to prison. That's what he wanted. He wanted to claim insanity, so he did not have to go to prison. And there's so much more to the story that I wanted to, like, keep adding in. Like, the whole, like, more into the trial, more into the DID, but... we would have had a part 3.
So much.
It is wild. I highly, highly recommend that you find whatever documentaries that you can to watch about the Hillside Stranglers because it is so fascinating. It is just so crazy to me that 2 cousins who, like, don't even know each other just connect and they connect on murder. And it's like, they're not even blood related. No. Like, I hate to say that, but, like, it's true.
Like you can't blame genetics.
Yeah, exactly. And you have a different connection with people that are like blood. Yeah. It's just fact.
Do they have any of the like the trial stuff or the DID stuff on video? Did you say that earlier?
Yes.
That's what I want to see.
Recorded.
I want to see that.
You can look up Kenneth Bianchi's confession tapes. And you will see him, like, slip in and out of these personalities. And there's that one video where he stands up and he's like, "Hi, I'm Billy. How are you today?" Oh and the psychiatrist, like, Dr. doesn't even shake his hand. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" But he didn't want to call him out because then it would go against the prosecution.
Right.
And he was hired by the prosecution. Because, again, it was a 50-50. 2 psychiatrists said, yeah, he has DID. And 2 psychiatrists they were like, no, he's full of shit.
And he's just like, God damn.
Yeah.
Yes. I want to see that.
Yeah.
The psychology of all of this is what fascinates me. Yes. And it was, I want to.
So.
Wow.
What do you think about him actually having trauma as a child now that you've heard the entire story?
I mean, I still stand by my thing of that you don't truly know because we have confirmation that, hey, from the outside, they were great parents, working class, in New York. You know,
But he never talked about it. He never said, like, hey, yeah.
That's true. Here's what I went through. Here's my story.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah.
Except when he tried to claim that he had multiple personalities.
I will say this, at face value, especially when compared to, like, what his claims of DID, which, again, takes intense trauma to in order for you to develop DID, I would say no. He probably came from a strict family at worst. And religious working class family who probably struggled. Catholic. Yes, yeah. And that was probably the worst of it. I give him benefit of the doubt in saying we never know what happens behind closed doors. And I do think that his behavior as a child is evidence that he did go through something. Yeah. But you never know what that is. Like, you don't know if that's...
his goldfish might have died after the first day. That was traumatic.
And he pissed his pants until he was 8 years old.
No, that's normal. Very worrisome. No, it really is.
The childhood stuff, it symbolizes that there's something.
I think it was just a lack of empathy. Again, I am stuck on, like, the 0 to 3 month thing. I think that is telling.
And it could be that life. Again, genetics.
Yeah,
you know, you don't know who his mother was. Maybe he was born a crack baby. Like, you literally just don't know.
I mean, she was an alcoholic and a prostitute. I mean, she could have been addicted to something else.
Don't know. So there's, in my opinion, there's just not enough to say. But yes, at face value, I think that he chose his path. He doesn't have his childhood to blame. I absolutely don't think that the DID evidence is there. I think that is insulting. Yeah. And just, I also don't understand why serial killers go down the route of, insanity. I want to plead insanity in order to get a lesser sentence, because I don't think a lot of people understand. No. Pleading insanity doesn't mean you get a
lesser sentence.
Like a less harsh sentence. Going through that process is torturous in itself. And I've heard testimony of people who have been granted the plea for insanity,
and they regret it.
They regret it because then they're put in the quote unquote loony bin with the people who do belong there, and they can't make it through. No. Like then they're essentially creating a new monster.
Or it ends up in suicide or other, aggressive behaviors. Absolutely.
So
I think pleading
insanity doesn't mean you get to go to like a spa, like a resort.
Or instead of a life sentence, you get 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, it's all severity on the charges and what happened.
Yeah. So no, this was not a case of insanity or not remembering. I will say this too. This is what I meant to say earlier. People who have DID and they have their alters, and they do usually have an aggressive alter, or they have their protective alter, they have their child alters, whatever. People with this disorder or whatever they call it, disease,
disorder.
They know that whatever happens, whether it's the demon alter or the child alter, like they know as a system that they take responsibility for that. Yeah. And there is communications between the alters. I watched this whole video specifically over this, like, well, what if one of your alters fucks up and doesn't? It's like, well, then we all take responsibility for it.
Yeah.
So for him to be like,
no, it was Steve.
No, it was Steve. It wasn't me. It's like, no, that's not how DID works. Everyone is still an entire system.
You're one system. You're one entity.
Yeah. So if Steve kills and strangles and does all these bad things, it's still you.
Yeah.
You too, Bianchi.
Yeah.
So
Bianchi. Yeah.
Anyways, so much to unpack there. We could literally do a third episode. That's just so much.
There was so much that I wanted to, plug in. But seriously, watch one of the documentaries. I believe there was a really good documentary on A&E Network. There was another one that I found on YouTube. It was like 38 minutes long. And then, of course, just like look at the confession tapes.
That's what I want to see.
The confession tapes. There's like 4 different parts, but it is so fascinating. So fascinating.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great story.
Yeah.
She did all her research today.
Not all of it. I did it the past couple of days. I fine-tuned it today.
All right. Well, guys, we kind of went over all of our important stuff in the beginning. So basically, we're down to the thank yous and the praises. So thanks to our patrons. You guys are getting us to podcast movement, and
you're
keeping these ring lights on. So thank you so much. If you guys want to join, there's $1, $5, and $10 levels. You get shout outs, you get a community, you get merch discounts, you get
all the fun info about the podcast.
You get to like vote on episodes and shit. Anyways, basically you get to kind of like tell us the nitty gritty. So you can go to our website, somethingsinisterpodcast.com.
And thank you to our sponsor, Color Up CBD. You can go to colorupco.com. Use code Sinister20 for 20% off of all of your CBD needs.
It is time for bed.
It is time for bed. So, stay sinister, y'all.
Bye.
Peace out.